This is News with the Disney Dude. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel for more content, and please hit that thumbs up if you like the video. Here now's the news for Monday, March 16th of 2026. And we have a lot of construction updates to report on, so let's get started. Gorilla family returns to enclosure at Disney's Animal Kingdom. You may have, if any of you follow any Disney news, what happened was one of the gorillas hit the plexiglass of one of the enclosures, and they had to do some refurbishment on it. And then I also reported on they were actually playing with one of the electrical things as well, which that caused the another shift. So, but at least they're all back now. All of the gorillas are back, and you can now enjoy all of them again at Disney's Animal Kingdom. More concrete pours are continuing for Piston Peak National Park near Big Thunder Mountain in the Magic Kingdom. So they are moving on this project. They're getting, a lot of construction, a lot of concrete has been poured. They obviously, they still have, a long way to go. They still have, other electrical work that needs to be done before they can actually build all of the, they can build before they actually build the physical land and then the rides and everything. But they're moving on this. They're moving really fast on this project, which is really good because Villains is really not going to happen for a long time. So, at least with Cars, at least with the Cars themed area, we can enjoy that for years before the Villains land gets open, because Villains land is still a long way away. It's still a long way to go. Cinderella Castle towers are getting brighter with more blue paint. This is, again, this is fantastic. We have been asking for for them to repaint Cinderella Castle for a long time, ever since the 50th ended, and I'm so glad that it's going back to that classic color. That classic color scheme. Someone was like, "Oh, I wish that they weren't doing that. I wish it was staying that pink color. I love that color." What? Okay, I don't know why anyone would, really like that pink. It wasn't that great. Look, I'm going to be honest. That color scheme was not good. It was not good. Now, obviously they could have done worse, but that pink color scheme was not great. It was not great, and it had a purpose. It had a purpose. It fit the purpose of Walt Disney World's 50th anniversary, and it should have gone away like that, but it didn't, and it lasted way too much longer. Way longer than it was supposed to. So I'm glad that it's pretty much gone now. If you like the pink, I'm sorry, but it's Cinderella Castle should have been and is being brought back to its original color scheme. So thank God that they're doing that. Thank God. Two guests climb out of stopped people mover in unauthorized exit at the Magic Kingdom. So the people mover is the same, pretty much the same ride system as Haunted Mansion or Peter Pan's Flight or Finding Nemo or The Little Mermaid. They're constantly loading. They're constantly loading. So it's the same. It's pretty. I mean, it's a little bit different of a ride system, but it's still kind of that Omni Mover system. So it's constantly loading people. But on the flip side to that is if they have to stop to let wheelchair people either board or exit, and if the wheelchair people need more time, they have to stop the ride. So I'm guessing that's what happened here. I don't know if the ride actually broke or what, but it was as far as I know, it was stopped because of that. And then, of course, obviously we live in 2026 and people are very impatient. And they were like, well, I'm not waiting. This is stupid. And they just climbed out. So please don't do that. Please do not climb out of a vehicle, whether it's moving or not. Okay? Because it's not safe. Okay? It's not safe. And I'm tired of going off on these rants because these people are stupid. If you're going to act stupid like this, then don't come to the parks. Do not come to the parks because you're just ruining it for everybody else. All right? So please don't move. Please don't climb out of non-moving vehicles or, because the vehicle could move at any time. All right? So please don't do that. Please do not do that because that's dumb. That is dumb. All right? And that leads us to our another one, which is guest has gone fishing in Epcot's World Showcase waterways. So this again, you're not permitted to be in this area. I don't know why they were there or what, but again, please don't do that. Please don't break rules, okay? Because it's not good for the guest experience. It's not. Okay, it disrupts everyone's day, and and you could get banned from the parks. Okay, you could get banned from the parks. Now, it's I see a lot of comments from people that like, oh, they're gonna get banned, or blah 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 blah. Not every single person that does something like this gets trespassed. Now they should. They should, absolutely, but not every single person that does, that climbs out of a vehicle or does something like, going into the waterways at Epcot, not every single person gets trespassed. Okay, so but they should, but not every single person does that. But people, please do not do that. Please don't break rules. Don't, and again, I can't tell you how many people I see in the parks that are smoking still. Please don't break the rules because I will turn you in. I will turn you in. All right. So don't be stupid. Please do not be stupid. And if you're going to act stupid, and if you're going to act that way, then Walt Disney World is not the place for you. It is not the place for you. Leave the parks and leave it to us Leave it to us people that love going to these parks. All right? So don't do that. Don't do it. Mickey Mouse joins Main Street Philharmonic at the Magic Kingdom. That's, this was as far as we know, was unplanned. This was great. Surprise stuff like this, makes me miss the way the parks were when I was a kid. Where it was, where things were much more of a surprise and you didn't know what was going to happen. So, stuff like this is great. It's fantastic. So, more of this, please. More of this, please. And I think Disney is starting to realize this. So, that's great. That's great. And Mickey Mouse was dressed like he was in the Mickey Mouse Club, in his band outfit, which was fantastic, which was great. So more of this, please. More of this, please. All right, sorry about that. It's starting to rain and get nasty again. The window blinds were open, so I shut them. That's why I took a pause. But let's continue on. Walt Disney World and Universal Orlando. Speaking of bad weather, Walt Disney World and Universal Orlando Resort are under strong storm warnings. Again, please keep that in mind. If you're watching this like tomorrow or in the future, that's probably already going to be over. But yesterday and today are very rainy. They are very rainy, and today more so than yesterday. Yesterday was kind of rainy. Today is like, and this is like summer weather, where it's storming and lightning and thunder and rainy. So, pack your patience. Pack your patience. We are entering that time of year. So, you can't really do anything about it. But I'm going to say this like I do every year. In case, if you are watching this from another state, or if you're not an avid park goer like myself, please keep in mind that this is our, we're getting into our rainy season, and with the rainy season comes lightning and thunder, and so the outdoor rides have to shut down for guest safety because of thunder and lightning. So I know people get upset and they're like, well, yeah, and then they start going off on rants on social media and everything. But Disney didn't close the ride because they didn't want you to experience it. Okay? Disney shut the ride down because of this. Okay? I don't know if you can hear it or not, but it's raining and it's thundering. Okay? So that's why they shut the rides down. That's why they shut the outside rides down. All right? So please be kind to the cast members. Please be kind to the cast members, or in Universal's case, the team members. Okay? Because it's not their fault. It is not their fault, and it's not going to ruin your vacation. I can't tell you how many posts I read on people, and they're like, this ruins my vacation, and that's being overdramatic. That's being overdramatic. So quit being stupid. Quit being stupid. All right. So please be kind to the cast members and the team members, and treat them with respect. Treat them with dignity and respect, and treat them how you would want to be treated. Okay. If you were in their shoes, okay, think about that. Think about it from their point of view. Okay. Like, if if you're yelling and screaming at a cast member or a team member, well, take a step back for a moment. Take yourself out of your body and put yourself into their shoes. How do you think that would make them feel? How do you think that makes them feel? All right. So please be kind to the cast members and the team members. All right. Because they cannot control the weather. They can't. All right. So I say that every year. I'm going to continue to say it. So, just, please be respectful. Please be respectful and please be patient, especially during this time of year. Okay. Signage appears for renamed Docking Bay 6 in Galaxy's Edge at Disney's Hollywood Studios. I don't know if they are, I know that Disneyland is changing the timeline of their Galaxy's Edge. Disney's Hollywood Studios is not doing that. I don't think they will ever. But I don't know why they're changing this. But I'm not a Star Wars fan, so I don't really know. If anyone knows anything related to this, comment underneath, because I don't know. I really don't know why they're changing this name, because it was Docking Bay 7, now it's Docking Bay 6, so I don't know if that's related to the Star Wars universe or if it's just a name change. I have no idea. So if any of you Star Wars people are watching, and if you know why they changed this, please feel free to let me know, because I do not know. I do not know. And speaking of now more nasty weather, power outage caused 2 Disney Springs restaurants to close, Planet Hollywood and Chicken Guy. At the time of recording, obviously now it's they're back. They're back up, but they did close yesterday at 4:00, and they never reopened. So again, just keep all that in mind. This is our rainy season. It's our stormy season. Lightning, thunder, and lightning can hit anything. Can hit anything. So, just because you're inside doesn't mean the power won't go out. Okay. So please just keep that in mind. All right, now here's another stupid story. A speeding car hits tree and catches fire in fatal crash on Epcot Center Drive. So, for those of you that don't know, Epcot Center Drive is really kind of the main thoroughfare for Walt Disney World. It's based on the name, you would guess that Epcot is on that, which it's true, but that Epcot Center Drive covers a lot of Walt Disney World. It's the main thoroughfare. So if they have to shut that part down, traffic gets really backed up in that area. Again, I don't know why they were speeding, but it's kind of irrelevant at this point. Okay. Please do not speed. Okay. Please don't speed. Please do not do something like this. Okay. Because something like this can happen. And, it is unfortunate, but please keep that in mind. The parks are not going anywhere. Okay. So there is no reason for you to speed on Walt Disney World property. Actually, there's really no reason for you to speed anywhere, but this is a Disney Parks program, so I'm not talking about all the other roadways. But when you hit Walt Disney World property, it's 50 miles an hour. That's a 50. Okay, so it's 50 for a reason. All right, so please do not. Please, I know a lot of people see 50 and they see 90, so they just, they just go. So, but, again, because there's going to be a lot of, now we're entering that vacation time. So if there's vacationers watching this, please slow down, take your time. The parks are not going anywhere. You will get to your destination. All right, you will get to your destination. But, okay, so please do not speed. Do not do anything reckless. Don't drive reckless on Walt Disney World property. Okay? Monstropolis makeover at Muppets Courtyard continues at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Like I said, this is another one of those projects that they're moving on. Again, they still refuse us to tell us what's replacing Muppet Vision 3D. But work seems to be continuing on the Monsters, Inc. door coaster, which I can't wait for. That's going to be a lot of fun. But work seems to be focused on that right now, getting the door coaster up, which makes sense because they're building that from scratch. So they're, they want that to be completed first because they know that that's going to be the big draw of this land. The renamed Glob Theater is not going to be a focal point of the land. It's not going to be like, Muppets Courtyard, where it was, where the Grand Arts Theater, where Muppet Vision 3D was played. That, it's not the focal point anymore. That's not the focal point. The focal point is the door coaster at the end of the land. All right. So it would make sense that they're focusing more on the coaster right now than the actual theater. But that still doesn't give that. I'm still not letting Disney off the hook because they still could have told us what's going in that theater. They just keep refusing to tell us. So, maybe someday they'll tell us what's going in that theater, but they're not saying anything. They are not saying anything. And, again, if you want to know my opinion, I truly feel that they know that they screwed up. I truly feel that they know that they screwed up, of getting rid of Muppet Vision 3D. Okay. I truly think that they believe that. So that's why they're not coming out and saying what's replacing it, because, Disney knows. Disney absolutely knows that they screwed up. They absolutely did the wrong thing. So but that's my opinion. But, that would make more sense to me why they're not coming out and saying that this is what's replacing Muppet Vision 3D. Maybe I'm wrong and they just haven't figured it out yet. I don't know. But, that this land has been in the works for quite a while now. So if Disney absolutely knew that they were replacing Muppet Vision 3D, then they would absolutely know what's going in that theater. But they still refuse to tell us. They still refuse to tell us. So in my opinion, it's because they know that they screwed up. That they know that they screwed up. But I don't know. Let me know how you feel. But don't you think that we should have known something by now? I'm just saying. Okay? Monsters, Inc. Speaking of which, the Monsters Inc. coaster construction continues with more concrete and conduits at Walt Disney World. So again, like I said, this is the project that they're focused on. They're focused on getting that ride built. Because they want capacity, they want more capacity in that park. Because let's be honest, the attraction lineup for Hollywood Studios leaves a lot to be desired. Okay, especially getting rid of the Great Movie Ride and the tram tour. The attraction lineup at Hollywood Studios leaves a lot to be desired. And getting rid of Rock and Roller Coaster, by the way. So, they're down a lot of capacity. They are down a lot of capacity right now at Hollywood Studios. So it would make sense that this is where they want to focus. So, and I'm not saying that, I love the stage shows at Hollywood Studios. I know a lot of people feel like Beauty and the Beast should go. I like Beauty and the Beast. It's fine. Okay. It's not as sophisticated as like some of the later shows, like, Festival of the Lion King or Indiana Jones or The Little Mermaid, or, it's not as sophisticated as those, but it's charming. It's nice. It's charming. It's charming. And it's one of the rare things that actually brings you back to the old MGM days. So, I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's outdated and it needs to go. It's fine. It's fine. I don't think you need to replace. Now you could update the show. Now, it's, you could update the costumes in the show where the costume characters could actually, have articulated heads and, blink and move their mouths and stuff, like Mickey's Magical Friendship Fair or any of the other shows. So that could, I would be open to that. If they wanted to do that and update that, I'd be like, hey, that's great. Go for it. I would love to see that. Because just having blank, the characters with the, just the blank faces, it's very 90s. It's very 90s. So, it's like, we have the technology. We have the technology for you to do that. So, but whatever. But I've gone way off topic. So let's get back to the news, all right? Dinosaur marquee has been removed as Indiana Jones ride transformation begins at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Again, I can't wait. I cannot wait for this ride. I loved Dinosaur. I know a lot of people didn't really like that ride. I liked it. It was kooky. It was 90s. It was, it was very different for Disney. I liked it. I mean, I know a lot of people didn't really like it. So, I miss Dinosaur, but I can't wait for Indiana Jones. I can't wait for Indiana Jones. And if Indiana Jones turns out to be bad, then you're going to hear it from me. Okay, as well as a lot of other bloggers, okay? So I'm excited for Indiana Jones. I really am. Does it fit Animal Kingdom? That's debatable, but I'm looking forward to it. I really am. So I say let's sit back and let the Imagineers work and see what they come up with. Work continues on the A-frame cabins, lazy river area, and more at Disney's Lakeshore Lodge. So they're continuing with those god-awful shipping containers at 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 Lakeshore Lodge. I I I hate those A-frame cabins. They look terrible. They're junky. They just look awful. They look awful. So they ruin the skyline. They're not good. They're not good. Okay. So you you I I I really have a hard time believing that I'm gonna love these A-frame cabins when they're done, because right now I hate them. I hate them. So, you know, but we'll just have to wait and see until they're finished. But I have a feeling that I'm just gonna hate them. That I'm just gonna hate them. Orlando International Airport is experiencing the busiest period for spring break ever. So COVID is done. COVID is done. It's over. People are back to traveling. So they're coming to Walt Disney World and Universal in droves. They are coming in droves. They are ready for this spring break. They are ready for summer. So it's gonna be a busy one. It's gonna be a busy one. So, you know, but we're in for a really busy summer. We're in for a really busy summer. Lightning Lane touch points have been installed for Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger spin at the Magic Kingdom. I talked about this when I did my breaking news. I will not be there on the first day because that's part of my block out. I will be going a few days after that, so I can go and film the ride and then give you my honest thoughts and review. But I'm looking forward to this ride. Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin was no one's favorite attraction at the Magic Kingdom. Okay, so for Disney to say, you know what, we're going to completely overhaul that attraction. We're going to completely overhaul that attraction. That attraction is getting gutted, and it's going to be rebuilt from the ground up. We're going to build new vehicles. We're going to build new blasters. We're going to put a brand new original theme park character in that ride. It's going to be updated sets. It's going to, so for someone in management to take probably one of, if not the worst rides at the Magic Kingdom, and say, you know what, we can do better. We can do better with that ride. So I am so glad that Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin is getting updated. I am so glad that Disney is revamping this attraction. Because again, Space Ranger Spin was not a good ride. It was not anyone's favorite ride. So I'm glad that Disney is taking this initiative to say, you know what, we can do better with that attraction. We can plus this attraction, which is actually what they're supposed to do. Okay, and when I did my Country Bear Musical Jamboree review, I said that they plussed that attraction, which is really what you're supposed to do when you're a Disney Imagineer and you're tasked with overhauling an existing attraction. You're supposed to take that attraction and make it better, okay, or as good as what it was, as what came before it. Okay, so that's why Country Bear Musical Jamboree to me is as good as the original Country Bear Jamboree was. Is it better? No, but it's as good. It is as good as the Country Bear Jamboree. All right. So but in my opinion, they plussed that attraction. They plussed it. All right. Never mind the whole, political mumbo jumbo garbage. Okay. They plussed that attraction. And I really hope that that's what they're doing with Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger spin. Okay. I really hope that that's what they're doing, and they're plussing it, and they're going to make it better. They're going to make it better, or at least as good as, well, I don't know. Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin was never really good anyway, but hopefully they'll make it better. Hopefully they'll make it better than the original Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin. All right. Metal beams have been installed at Big Thunder Mountain. Construction continues at Piston Peak. So Piston Peak is going to butt up next to, or at least come close to, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. So that's why all this, that's why the construction is, taking place near Big Thunder Mountain, is because of all that area. Big Thunder Mountain and the Haunted Mansion are two of the attractions that butted up against the Rivers of America. Okay. Tiana's, or if you want, Splash Mountain, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, that really did, that was away from the Rivers of America. So that didn't have anything to do with, with that. But Big Thunder Mountain and the Haunted Mansion, they butted up against the Rivers of America. So it makes sense that they would have to, now Big Thunder Mountain's completely getting overhauled, with new track and everything, which is great. Haunted Mansion isn't getting overhauled. They just have to, now instead of a river being by the Haunted Mansion, so you never saw the back of the Haunted Mansion. You never saw the back of the Haunted Mansion. You never saw the back of the facade, and you never saw the show building. So now with Piston Peak, you're going to be able to walk by that area. So you're going to be able to walk past the Haunted Mansion and past the ride show building. So I really hope that they cover up the show building for Haunted Mansion, because I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that when I'm riding the Cars the Cars ride or whatever it is, or walking by the Haunted Mansion and being like, oh, there's the show building. That's not great. Okay. That's not good. Which is my main, so I'm going to go off the page now, but that's my main complaint with Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, is you can see that show building. You can see that show building outside of Epcot. And you're like, why? Why? And it's the same thing with Tron. It's the exact same thing with Tron. You can see the show building. Now, Tron, you can see it inside the park. So it's more egregious than, than you're inside of Epcot. You don't see the Guardians show building when you're inside Epcot, when you're outside. So, that's, it's a little bit different, but, it's like, why do we not hide show buildings anymore? Why are we not hiding the show buildings anymore? And it's like, it's fine. It's all right. They're not going to care. Okay. No one's going to care if we don't hide the show building. Well, there's us park nerds that care. Okay. That, we care. We care. And I assume that if you're watching this, you care too. Okay. So that's why I hope they're covering up, the Haunted Mansion show building. They're going to cover it up with more trees, because, having an exposed show building is not good. That's not good show. That is not good show. All right. And, if you don't believe me, take a look at Tron. Take a look at Guardians of the Galaxy. Take a look at any of those, because they're terrible to look at. They are terrible to look at. So again, I hope that Disney covers that up. I hope they cover up. I hope they learn from their past mistakes with Tron and Guardians to cover up the show building. So, fingers crossed, knock on wood. I hope that that's what they're doing. And our last story is off-road and other ride paths could be used for Piston Peak. Gives riders more control. I think that this is great. This really intrigues me. This really intrigues me. You know, is the ride experience going to be different every time you ride? Is it going to be just a different ride experience every single time you ride? I'm intrigued. I am intrigued. I would love to know if that's what they're going to do. Because if that's what they're going to do, then we are in for a fantastic ride. A fantastic off-road cars ride. So if that's what they're doing, I'm really looking forward to this. I'm really looking forward to it. Because that sounds awesome. That really, really sounds really awesome. So, but there you are. There is your news for this Monday. If you like this video, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel for more content. I will see you right back here on Wednesday for Wednesday's show. Until then, y'all keep each other safe and healthy. Y'all, please keep each other safe, especially in weather like this. And, please don't be stupid in the parks. Okay? Please, I'm begging you. But I will see you on Wednesday. Again, y'all keep each other safe and healthy. And remember that tomorrow is just a dream away.